My mum goes, who's going to want you now? You're a second-hand material.
Yes, who would want me? I'm damaged goods, second-class citizen.
If you act like you don't need it, you won't get it. But if you're just busy going,
How do you get all that courage together?
this guy needs to be ambitious, needs to be family-oriented. And, you know,
If you love the person, you embrace the whole thing. And the whole thing includes.
all right, Jen, another episode. And this time you've chosen the topic of dating.
Yes, Lynn, I've chosen the subject of dating because we are so different when we're, with our ideas of dating and how much dating and how we date. So I just thought just something that a little bit polarizing.
Yeah.
Would be good.
This was an interesting topic because many years ago I made a video on YouTube which attracted a lot of viewers and comments and stuff. And one of my key message was it's okay to find love again. Often we come out of a broken relationship and we're now a single mum. We kind of feel like we need to shut down, don't trust men again, don't trust in love again, and just kind of shut out from our own happiness. Whereas I still, as much as I had all these bad relationships after my, the relationship I had with when I had my son, I still went on lots of relationship, got hurt a lot, but still love. Mm-hmm. And I think it's great for us to now just deep dive into how we started dating again, all the wrong choices that I still made after that, and then how I finally now have a very happy marriage.
Yeah, no, I just think that it's incredible, your faith in the word love, it's like expansive. But I think compared to you, I came from a place of my ex-mother-in-law saying that what did she say exactly? Divorced women are the rubbish of society.
Oh my God, my mum said that to me as well. So when I became a single mum, my mum goes, who's going to want you now? You're a second-hand material.
Yeah.
And if someone does want you, he's also kind of rubbish, right?
Yeah, he will be. Yeah, I know. So they'll say things like, for divorced women, they can only end up with, like the old, the cripple, or the people who can't do stuff, the failures in life.
Or that person will come with so much baggage and so much
just
drama.
to match up with our baggage, apparently, because we're now second-class citizen, because we're now divorced women with children. I have two, you had one, right?
Yeah. And why did our own mother say that to us?
I don't think it was my mother who said it to me. I think it was more
your
my
mother-in-law
who said it to me.
Well, my mother said it to me.
Yeah. my mother was like just speechless, I think, at this point. And my father was too busy worried about, oh my goodness, you're going to ruin our family's faces. And, and
that's what my dad said
and
too.
Our reputation, what are we going to do? Look what you've done to our family. So firstly, we're traumatized from our marriage. Then we're single mom.
And we're being told that we're not going to succeed after this.
Correct. And then now look what we're doing to the family. So now it's all about us doing to the family. So that's where, I don't know about Western women, but that's where most Asian women, I would say, start from when they are freshly divorced, because there's all these conflicting opinions about them.
Yeah. And what did you say back to her? Because I know what I said to my mum.
Oh, well, I said nothing.
You're the good
because
girl.
Because I'm the one who goes, okay, and I just left it.
Did you believe it in any way?
Actually, funny enough, I did. And I did believe it to be true, because I just feel like, yes, I am now, divorced and I've got two kids. I mean, yes, who would want me? I'm damaged goods, second-class citizen. All these things that they keep filling your heads. Because, Lynn, seriously, if you live in a world where that is a constant and that is the narrative, what do? You just believe in it. If you're in that environment, you become a part of that environment.
So you didn't bother looking around, you just kept to yourself, or how did that affect you?
Oh my goodness, let's remember that my first relationship was an arranged marriage. So what dating experience do I have?
You're waiting for another date to be arranged?
No, I wasn't waiting for another date to be arranged, but I just didn't even know where to start. So when your first relationship is an arranged marriage and you never had a boyfriend, and I've always been very disciplined at home, and your whole world is just around your house and nowhere else, there's no outside influences. I was as ignorant as, I don't know, I want to say shit, but I don't know, as ignorant as anything.
So you didn't really think far?
No, you just believe what it is to be truth because that's all you know. Yeah.
Well, in my
did you say to
case,
your mom?
I said, I'll show you.
Oh.
You know, there's so many things that my parents have said to me that I always go, I'll show you.
Yeah.
And I don't know why they do this because even at the age of 9, I remember coming to Australia and I turned on some karaoke and I started singing and my mum goes, oh, turn it off. You're so horrible. You're killing my ears. And I was like, I want to show you I can sing one day, you know? And I end up just practicing karaoke, and now I love karaoke, and, you know, I was told that I can sing. And so it's the same thing. I was like, I don't know, I've never had a good relationship, but I definitely believe that I can prove it to her in that sense. And it is true that by the time I was 28, 29, I'm thinking, okay, if I do meet someone, that person might already have been married and might have kids. So really, like, I don't have real example of someone that isn't taken or doesn't have a baggage. But then I go and met my husband. My husband was 35 at the time, never been married, don't have kids, and actually love the fact that I had a kid. He said, wow, you are so inspiring. You left a broken relationship.
And he found you on YouTube.
Yeah, he found me on YouTube and he was like, I love that you're broken, you know? and you're like this diamond in the rough and I want to kind of...
He wants to be your Superman.
Yes. And my mum was so shocked. She was like,
really?
How did you find
can
it?
find someone like
Yes.
that? Oh,
But
my
and not to,
goodness.
but then prior to him, obviously I dated lots of crazy guys, guys on drugs, guys, you know, connected to the bikies, guys that were just naughty in their own way, right?
Yes.
Drug dealers and all. And so they haven't seen many great examples, right? They may not have kids and they may not have been married, but they were not good guys.
Very colourful life there, Lynn.
And it was my choice though, because the reason why, so I dated, but I was choosing the wrong kind of guys.
Yep.
At the time, I think I was just very shallow, superficial. So my requirement was only as long as the guy's cute. Remember, I feel like I was very...
and has abs.
Yeah, abs.
I always remember you talk about
Yes.
the guy's abs.
Yes.
Abs. Abs was
So,
Lynn's thing.
yes. So I used to judge the outside thinking that that looks strong. That's the man, you know? And TV and all that always make you feel like those guys are cool. You know, prison break style, and they just... But when you start dating them, you realize that they were not healthy guys to be with. And so when I readjusted my criteria and worked on myself was when I started to design what I really wanted in a guy. And I said, this guy needs to be ambitious, needs to be family oriented. And, you know, the only way you can list that is when you actually have gone through it to know what you want. So I made it clear that I don't want someone jealous. I don't want someone that is, you know, rebellious or not family oriented, because those are the things I experienced with some of the relationships. And then when I met my husband, my mum is like, are you sure he's not lying to you? Have you kind of done your spy due diligence or something?
Spy?
Because how can a 35-year-old be single and no kids? So I blew their mind.
Yeah, well, he was waiting for the right girl, Lynn, and I think you're the right girl.
So what was your dating like?
Oh,
then
goodness.
how did you meet
my dating? I don't think I've ever dated in my whole life.
So going? Oh no, yeah.
So
okay.
you know, it's interesting that when you think about how they speak, how we've been spoken to, you feel pretty worthless. And you have very little self-respect, even though you're, like, I always believe, like, I've always been a very good person and I do all the right thing, but there's something inside you that you feel so worthless and so less and so little. So therefore, I didn't expect, you know, miracles. I was expecting, like they say, you know, some loser. So that's why I wasn't keen on dating. Like, I'm thinking, if I'm going to go out there and date now, look, I'm on the back foot. I'm single mom, you know, 2 kids, you know, broke. I have no money. I mean, at that time, who's going to date me? I was thinking, well, probably some loser. So better have no loser than a loser. So that was a mentality. So better have no one than a loser. So might as well just not date. But I did have a passion for dancing. And this is where I accidentally met someone. And I didn't even meet. I was just dancing with my teacher, like at social dancing, practicing. Guy come to me and asked, why don't you dance with my brother? And I said, who's your brother and why should I dance with your brother? And he goes, oh, my brother does dance comp and everything else. I said, okay, I'll dance with your brother. And so when I went on dancing with him and for a while, and then we got together and noticed that he actually was single and I was single. So we decided to date. But it wasn't like, I've gone on this date, that date. No,
Yeah.
I've never.
And you ended up being...
Actually, Lynn, my whole life, I have never dated.
Is this... And so how long were you with him?
I was with him for like nearly 20 years.
Yeah.
Until like a tragic situation happened and his daughter, she passed away from heart failure. And he only had one daughter, and I have two. So at that point, I look at him, and he was traumatized. It was tragic. And he said he nearly died, and he keeps saying his life is over and over. I said, you know what, honey? Your life is not over. Because I said, I want you to go and find... I said, I don't want to have any more children, but when you go and find the right person to have a child with, I said, I will leave.
Yeah.
I said, we stay together, we care for each other, but now I can't give you what you need anymore. Oh my God!
Crying again every episode. We're gonna do a collage of Jennifer crying.
No, but I just like I literally was saying that like.
Yeah, you're having a really special relationship where you're so understood for him. You love him to the point that you want him just to be happy.
I just want him to be happy again, whatever that looks like. And I always believe that in a relationship, if you can't fulfill the other person's needs, you
let them go.
You let them go.
Yeah.
You let them go and do what they need to do. So I said to him that until the time that you find someone, I'm going to still be here. And I'm going to be supporting you here until you find someone, and then I will leave. Recently he found someone.
Oh, okay.
After so many years, he found someone. So I am very happy for him. Hoping that this person can have a child, because the poor thing, all he wanted is to have one child.
And so what's next for you then in your dating world, and what are you going to do? Are you just comfortable being casual dating?
No, I think what's next is I don't think I've ever dated, so I don't think I know how to date. So that's why I'm thinking of having some dating advice from Lynn. So Lynn, where if there are women out there like me, where should we start?
Okay, well, I've always been wanting to either do some events for singles or matchmake them somehow, because I've actually successfully matched two friends together, and they've been together for 20 years. They're married, they've got 2 kids. That's my success story. Of course, there's other matches that, they didn't go anywhere. But in short, dating game, it's more complicated. But I do agree that when you're ready, when you work on yourself and you are clear with your shopping list, like exactly what you want, and you kind of surrender and let it go, not be desperate for it, but at the same time, tell God that you want it though. Because there is that kind of fine balance, and then it will happen. And when it happened, it's unexpected. Like, my husband found me on YouTube randomly. We've got no friendship connection, our will have not crossed in any way. And I've seen other examples of people just meeting out of nowhere as well. But I notice when you don't meet the one is because there's still a bit of sabotages. Either you still going, I don't really care, don't really need it, because you don't want to hurt yourself or don't want to fail. So you're like, don't really need the guy. So you're kind of resisting. It's like, how can God give you a present if you're like, I don't want it, I don't care, I don't need it. But if you're like, no, I want it, but I'm going to wait and be patient for it. But while I'm waiting for it, I'm not going to go, where is it, where is it, where is it? I always see God like our Father sitting there, and you're going, all right, give it to me now. I'm ready, right? Like, have you seen your own kids where they're like, okay, I'm a good boy now. Can I have my present now? And if you still have that kind of attitude, you won't get it. If you act like you don't need it, you won't get it. But if you're just busy going, you know what? I'm going to focus on all the qualities that I want in that person. I'm just going to be that. I'm going to be kind. I'm going to be family oriented. I'm going to be self-growth and helping others and all that, and just focus on being that. And then out of nowhere, your Father wants to bless you. Same as your child. Like, every time my kids stop nagging me and start being good, because every time they're like, can I have McDonald's? Can I have McDonald's? I'm like, no. And then they're just good and they forget about it. Next few days, I'm like, do you want McDonald's? They're like, oh my God, thanks. Like, I didn't ask for it. And I feel like life works like that in that way. And that's why I stopped going on apps at that time. I used to go on RSVP or some sort of dating app, and I just also felt like my guy isn't there. When I'm looking for it and in a way hunting for it, it's not going to come. And then I stopped, and then it just came.
Oh my God, I am too fearful to go on any of those apps. I just feel like maybe I'm still ignorant in this space, but I just feel like, you just lose all privacy, I think. And so I value my privacy a lot. That's probably why I don't do apps. I don't do any of those things. So according to you, being good, being kind, being out there, growing, doing all your business and everything else, I think I've got all that tick, 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 tick. The only thing that I am not willing to do is, I guess, manifesting for a man. I always believe that when the time is right and the person's meant to be in your life, they will. And if that person is not in your life, or there's no one else going to be in your life, I'm quite content being by myself. Because
and the other thing is, I feel like we should access our femininity. And basically, you know, be charming, be flirtatious, be girly. I don't know.
Charming,
not
flirtatious,
like in a
girly,
way where you're trying to seduce people, but just be such a pleasant person to be around with.
Being a fun person. Okay.
Because sometimes a really pretty girl could put this aura as if like, I'm too good for you. Like, don't talk to me. Like, I'm not going to... Guys would not come to you if you look like you're going to reject them. That you're like too snobbish, too... You know, you think you're better than them, then they're going to go, well, I'm not going to try her because she's like going to shut me down. But if you look friendly and welcoming, not in a sexy, seducing kind of way, a respectful way, you're just nice to everybody. You're nice to the guy, you're nice to a girl, you're nice to friends or strangers. That if you create that aura, people come and they're attracted to you. There's that charming feeling. But if you're already shutting yourself because like, I don't want him to think that I like him, or I'm like, you're already being sus about everything, then you're just creating that aura of sussiness and that it's just not natural for attracting people.
Yeah, but I heard, I do have friends that go on apps and they say to me that, oh my goodness, Jennifer, when you go on an app, you can swipe here, swipe there, you know, whatever, I forgot. But here's the thing, she asked me, how come they just she goes, how come they don't turn up the way they look like in the photo? And I was like, really?
Yeah.
They don't turn up like that? And then she goes, yeah, you can't even recognize them.
Yeah.
Why is
that's
that?
why, when I met my husband, I totally try to avoid the judgment of looks as well, because I tend to just base it on look and then start telling my own story about it. So then when he contacted me, I try not to look him up, find out about him. I just wanted to come and see his personality, his aura, the way he carries himself. And I ended up, at first I still judged. Like I first saw him and I'm like, not my usual type, right? Like remember my prison break style, abs and all that stuff.
No, he doesn't look like he break out of prison.
I still had a bit of not my type. But then I was just more open-minded and said, just lean in and see. And then his personality, humour started to sink in and help and made me feel more connected. And then the next few days, I started to fall for him. And I realised the difference between infatuation and true love. Back then, I used to confuse infatuation with love. You know, that crazy... exciting love. I thought that was love, and every time that infatuation dies,
love's gone.
I'm gone. I think I need to date someone else. But now that I've experienced true love, love kind of grows. Love becomes something that you explore. You get to know each other, and then you just keep loving more. And this is the longest relationship I've ever been in. The longest relationship I used to last was 2 years. This is 14 years, 13 years married. And we still go on dates. We're still very passionate. We still argue passionately. But we're still passionately. But there's a lot of love still. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the other thing about if you don't nurture your relationship is you can become housemates. And I've seen a lot of those cases where they break up, not from big fights, but from just dying.
Yeah.
Slowly.
It's a slow death. I just wanted to ask you a question, Lynn, because regard dating, see, the thing that I fear most, because I'm paranoid with safety, okay, so the thing that I fear most is the safety factor. When you say, you make an appointment to meet somebody and then you go there, how do you know?
I definitely think you should talk on the phone first. You know, sometimes people think they just message away. No, get on the phone, video call, do as much as you can without seeing each other first. And then by the time you're like, see and feel and, you know, through the video, then you go and meet in person. Why would you meet in person if you're just messaging? That is totally not cool.
Yeah.
But in short, I think I live my life in a more riskier way where I'm like, I trust that most of the time there's good people and most of the time good things happen. Occasionally, if it does go wrong, I trust that I know what to do. But if you live in fear, that you might get...
Not so much living in fear, but when you go out and you're about to go on a date, do you have some sort of strategy in place? Like, like a safety strategy in place?
Well, so when I met my husband, I didn't know him. He's from Sydney and I was from Melbourne. So my friends started to get into my ears and said, what if he's a murderer? What if he's like a killer? And so I asked him, can you please send me your driver's license?
Okay.
And then he's like, okay, here it is, but you don't have to come if you don't trust me. And even the way he said that, I kind of feel like, okay, it was nice. But then also the other thing that made me decide to meet him was the fact that I was running an event, invited him to be an attendee, or pay for the ticket. He said he couldn't come, but he was happy to buy some tickets to donate to someone worthy of it. Yeah. So I was like, okay.
Very nice.
Nice. Very strategic, very smart. So he was willing to invest in me and invest in someone else without even getting to see me.
Yeah.
So, you weigh up a few of those factors and you kind of, and then obviously I spoke to him on the phone and all that. And so I just felt like he was a normal person.
Yeah.
Right? But yeah, in short, you just do a bit of those, I think. But actually, another topic that I think we should talk about is when do we introduce them to our kids?
Yes.
There are guys that I dated that I didn't show to the kids because I knew it wasn't serious. But there have been guys that I did date and I thought it was serious. That I did introduce to my son at the time. And yeah, I think back and I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have involved them so soon.
So early.
But at the same time, I was one of those foolish lover who's like, I'm so in love. I'm going to marry this person.
So infatuated at the moment.
Yes. And I said, I'm going to marry that person. I said the same thing to a few guys. Let's get married. Let's have kids. And so I think one thing we should do is protect our relationship away from the kids until we're like a lot more ready.
Yeah, I think I didn't introduce my partner at the time to the children until we're somewhat 6-8 months in the relationship, that I know that, this is the person that I want to spend more and more time with. And at some point, I need to bring the kids along. And at that time, he has one daughter. So together we get 3 little daughters that we bring along.
Yeah.
So but I guess there's no right or wrong time. I mean, you would know individually if it's the right time. And it depends very much circumstance.
I think any serious relationship I did have, I end up introducing. And like even my current husband, he met my son really quickly. I think another thing we can talk about is when do we tell someone that we're a single mum? And so what happened is I was with a guy who didn't tell me he had a kid. He even lied that he didn't have a kid. And I was very angry about it. And because I'm like, you're robbing me of the decision that I could make whether I want to be with someone with a kid or not. So I made a promise to myself, if I ever had kids, I would always be transparent. So it becomes quite awkward. You meet someone and you're like, hi, I'm Lynn, and you kind of have to weave it in because you want to tell them as soon as possible because you don't, I felt like it wasn't fair for them to fall in love with me or like me more and then to find out that I have a child. So I try to tell them pretty early like first date. It's like, hi, da-da-da-da-da. And and I'm also a single mum, or I have a child. And most of the time, it's always a surprise for them because they don't expect you to just say it there and then. And you wish that you could not tell them straight away because it is an awkward conversation on date one. But at the same time, it just felt right.
Yeah, I think that's where you and I have in common because I would go, oh, hi, my name's Jennifer. And then they'll say whatever. And I said, I just recently divorced and I'm a single mother of 2. And then I follow up with, do you have any kids? It's like I'm divorced, single mother of 2. Do you have any kids? So I usually ask them like that, so then it doesn't feel any awkward. Because then you're talking about you're tying in the kid with their kid. Do they have any kid? But I also just want to get that. Not that I was interested in dating anyone really, but it was I just felt like I'm all about authenticity, and it was for me. It was like honesty, and that's what it is. And if you don't like it, please piss off or go away. And if you do like it, then you can stay. But whatever they made it allows people to make an informed decision. And I think that's really important.
Yeah, we kind of own it. Like, we are a mum now, we have a child, and this is who we are now. And I think I feel proud of saying it. They always go, oh, and then they go, oh, how is, you can tell that they're trying to be accommodating or empathetic with you. Yeah. But I don't think they understand. They're all, like, I was 20 at the time, or when I was dating, I'm in my early 20s. All the guys were about that age. So no one's got kids. No one understands it. Yeah. And so they will probably try to be nice to your kid because they want to be with you. But whenever I break up, and we ended there, I can just tell it wasn't genuine. Yeah. I think the first person I would say is super genuine is my current husband, who loves my kid.
Hence, he's your current husband.
What I love about him, or where it shows being genuine, is that he would have conversations with my son when I'm not there. He'll call him, hey, how are you going? What are you doing? And message him, and the way he express, through the message or happy birthday, it's just a lot more heartfelt. And then I loved him even more when it was my son's 21st birthday, which was last year, and we both had our own speeches, and he did a speech and he started crying for my son. He was like it was just like tears dropping down, and I'm like, wow, like I would never know how it feels to be a stepdad and to love that much to the point that you're crying for son. That's when I really felt, oh my God, I love you more now. Actually, this is a great opportunity when we have a podcast to reflect, and now I'm going to go home and go, hey, I remember what you did.
I think it's interesting because a lot of people, when you're coming together in a relationship, how you express love to your partner's child actually is really important, and it allows your partner to really get that in-depth feeling and that bond. And a lot of people kind of go, oh, well, that's your child, I don't care, which is so wrong. If you love the person, you embrace the whole thing, and the whole thing includes 1 or 2 children or even more. But for single women, Lynn, let me ask you, single women, for them to start dating again, it takes a lot of courage because firstly, I couldn't understand. I mean, I couldn't speak about dating because I've never dated in my whole life. So I'm thinking that young women, once upon a time, when they're still single, they look a certain way, they're, whatever. Now they're divorced, they look different, they don't look like how they were when they dated before. It takes a lot of courage. So how do you get all that courage together to go and move on, to take that first step? Yeah. And then next step that I'm going to ask you is the intimacy part. Like, how do they even get comfortable to be intimate?
Well, I'm very different to you. Like, I love dating. I love love. I get intimate fast. Intimacy is very important, and I always tell my husband it's important to have passion in a relationship. I do not want one of those relationships where you just become housemates and you fizzle out and you're just it's boring in the bedroom, let's call that. And so we would always make effort to make sure that we still feel that passion as if we're dating. So what are you wanting to?
Oh, okay. So what you're saying is whatever you nurture grows. Yes. So basically you're nurturing the bedroom. So the bedroom is growing, Lynn.
Yes.
Lynn's bedroom is growing. Yes. I guess the question is, like for a lot of women, it's about comfort and it's about safety. There's so many things that for them to get ready. I mean, for you, you probably wouldn't understand because, like you say, I get intimate fast. so for me, it was completely different, and hence that's why I asked that question. Yeah. For me, it was like at least 6 months. Let me get to know you better. Let all these things, and when all the boxes are ticked, and then okay, maybe we'll go and we'll try to see if that part is compatible. And I understand that being intimately compatible is very, very important in a relationship, and we all know that. Yes. And so for some people, the strategy is get in, try. If it doesn't work, next. Don't even bother about the 6 months. What I can hear from you is don't even bother about wasting 6 months. How many 6 months do we have?
Yes, well, my mindset at the time was still quite immature, which is like, you got to try before you buy. So the earlier I try, the more I know whether I want that or not. Whereas now I think, I've discovered Christianity in the last 5 years, and I'm mentored by my pastor, and I do have a different perspective on intimacy now. If I was to teach my kids, it would be very different. It would be a lot more, respect your body more, love yourself more. And the reason why I was seeing life that way is because I wasn't loved at home when I was growing up. So when you lack love, you're looking for love. You're looking for other people to fulfill you. It's like you're seeking that attention or seeking that validation that you're worthy, right? But if I could give my kids, like my daughter, that love, that feeling that you don't need to look for anywhere else. So I don't see her having a boyfriend early, whereas I had a boyfriend early. Yeah. I don't see her needing to experiment with anything because, I don't know, I just feel like she's more wholesome.
She's fulfilled.
Yes. However, we don't know what's out in the world and the encouragement of sex and everything else. I just hope that she does make better decisions. And I do really like the Christian teachings. It's about saving yourself for the right relationship and, you know, focusing on that one marriage and really working on it. The ideal of it is amazing, right? And so if my kids can live like that, choose the right person, marry right, save it for the right person, all that, if they could do that, that's great. I didn't live that path. It's just the way it was. And now I see things a lot different.
Yeah, I think for me, I think moving forward, I don't know about a lot of the ladies, so I hope the ladies would share with us this particular part. For some of them, I would love to hear more comment from women. Love to hear more comment from women about how do they get the courage to restart? How do they get the courage to go out again, to date again, and to get intimate again? That would be, we'd love to hear that from the women.
Yeah. And what was your takeaway from today's conversation?
My takeaway from today's conversation is be open, be 100% authentic, be happy, self-care, self-love, but at the same time open should the relationship comes knocking.
Well, yeah, I felt like this conversation, it was me doing a lot of the talking because I have done a lot of the dating. So I'm glad that you've got some ideas, whether you're going to do that shopping list. And,
yes, I will do the shopping list.
More.
Less paranoid, trust a bit more.
Yeah, because look, at the end of the day, relationship is like a business. You need to work on it.
Yep.
It will always change. There's always challenges. It doesn't get easier. People grow differently, but it's about effort. It's not something you just done. I'm dating and I'm married and that's it. It requires both people working
constant
on it.
working.
But when you work on it and there's fireworks, it's magic. You get to share every experience together. You don't have to do things alone. You know, I remember when I was trying to love myself more and I went on a trip on my own. I went to the hotel and it felt lonely. It felt like, you know, you're eating, you're watching things and you just wish you could share it with someone. Yeah. And I remember clearly going, okay, I know how to love myself, but I also want to be in a relationship because I know that it's more fun that way.
Yeah, but it's interesting that you say lonely, and it made me think of one more thing. And a lot of people are in a relationship, but they're still lonely. They're not alone, but they're lonely. So I wonder how many women out there, you know, like I'm not talking about single mum here, I'm talking about any other people, or it could be single mum who's dating, who are in a relationship, but yet they feel very lonely and very empty.
Yeah, and we can talk about how to build connection in our next episode because that has been key to my relationship where I said to my husband, I don't feel connected. How can we feel more connected? You know, we go on dates and we would do icebreaker questions or we have our little marriage reviews. But anyway, that's another topic for another day. So thank you so much for watching another episode of In Her Steps. Would love to hear from you if there is a topic, a challenge that you're going through and you want us to focus on it. Love to hear from you.
Yes, and discuss further. Until then, see
Bye.
you later.